What's up, everybody? Perfect. Now we are live. Okay. So, hopefully you guys could see this. It seems like there are some weird, funky issues going on with on the YouTube side. Hopefully you guys can both see horizontal and vertical. But we will continue for the most part. This is something that I'll let them figure out. So hopefully everybody has been having a great morning so far, and we will go ahead and just get started here. So without further ado, let's begin. So what's up, fam bam? This is Chris Mizo here. It's a exciting world of PCs and PCs gaming because we have seen Gamescom. They have released all kinds of different hardware to different titles. And I gotta say, Call of Duty's Black Ops 7 looks kind of sad for the most part. I think everybody can incline to agree. What's up, Takuma? Glad to see you. Hopefully, Takuma, I gotta ask you, are you seeing on the horizontal or vertical feed? Because it seems like there's this new feature that I'm trying out, and it seems that I'm not sure if the vertical people can see. But I'm glad to see you here. Welcome. And I gotta say, have you seen the newer cards that have been getting released, such as the new 5070s, 5080s, 5090s? PNY has this new Chrome edition, which is pretty wild. It seems like it's going more into a flashy direction. For the 5090, it doesn't seem like the specifications have changed a whole lot besides the whole ASUS ROG matrix. That RTX 5090 seems, of course, it's going to be up to 800 watts. It's a bit of a mixed bag for the most part. It's going to be quite expensive of a card. Vertical feed. Oh, perfect. So the vertical feed does work. Okay. Yeah, because the funny thing is, I was trying to test it out. I was trying to check on my phone to see how it would work. And it seemed like all I could do was, I could only see the horizontal feed. But I'm glad to hear that the vertical feed is up and working. But I gotta say, hopefully, everything that we've seen in Gamescom seems mostly promising. There's going to be a lot of new releases, especially of fall of 2025 when it comes to Intel. Intel, we have to see if they are going to come out with their 18A, which is going to be their more competitive processor, or if there's just going to be more of a refresh. It's kind of a really weird situation for Intel, as they kind of denounced the whole 18A being released, and that they were going to focus on the whole refresh side for the 15th generation processors, and we'll see how well that goes for the most part. It seems that I have a good indication that they will still continue going with 18A. And if they do, hopefully it is still compatible with Z890 boards. But they did mention earlier in the year that if they go 18A, that it's going to end up changing the socket anyway. So if that's the case, I remember the socket was I think it was a number like 1956 or something like that. Or 1954, it's around that range. But if they did end up needing to change out the socket in order for the upgrade, then of course it would have to require a whole new motherboard. We'll see if Intel somehow figures that side out. If they do somehow continue coming out with the 18A, maybe there's some sort of variable that they can take care of when it comes to it. But we'll see in due time. Japan actually has a lot of interest in Intel currently, as they have SoftBank that has invested actually up to $2 billion with them. So there is a lot of confidence investment wise. It seems that there is a lot of confidence from different banks now into Intel. So we can certainly see improvement, I think, over time. So this is a good indication. Maybe Intel will have something that we don't know about. Oh, okay. Horizontal. Okay. That's okay. I did everything I could on the whole. I did everything I could to on the vertical feed side, and it seemed like there's no possible way for the whole vertical feed to kind of be on its own like it used to, because I used to have two separate categories for it to be able to have the horizontal and the vertical. But it seems like right now, currently, everything is in one bag. So I don't know how they could see it, but I do hope they are able to. The chat of the horizontal doesn't get together with the vertical one. Yeah, and that's the funny thing. It seems like that's what they are currently working on now, but I don't. It seems like it. I don't think it's really working as intended. So I definitely will give some feedback to YouTube about it. So I apologize to everybody who is on their mobile devices trying to view this as a vertical live, and unfortunately, it's not working correctly on that side. So let's go into Discord real quick. I did get some messages, and I gotta say, it's been very interesting, especially for those. If you are just tuning in, I do want to warn everybody who is interested in doing a Windows 11 update, please be wary of it. Make sure that you do have the proper SSD to be able to install the update. And meaning by proper SSD, it's not really your SSD's fault. This is more of a Windows 11 error, where if you update to the new Windows 11, you could lose very important files, especially if you are working on projects, or if you're working on some sort of large video project or some sort of 3D design where it requires a lot of storage. Anything over 50 gigabytes is getting lost with this new Windows 11 update. But on the bright side, there is two ways you can really recover from that, and I do want to introduce to you guys a new software where it's not really new, but it's been around, and it's just a very useful tool for anyone who does lose their important files here. So better stick with horizontal for the moment when, yes, I agree. That's exactly why I'm sticking with the whole horizontal side. And I gotta say, it's I don't know what's up with YouTube currently. So right now I'm just opening up Discord, and it seems like it's let me close it out first. Discord is being Discord now. Not seeing all the messages. There. Let me exit this way. There we go. So anybody coming in, feel free to ask what you would like, especially when it comes to PC builds, or if you have anything in mind. It is going to be a new season, especially this fall. You're going to see new processors. There's going to be new reiterations. We do know AMD is going to have a 9500, and they will also have their... I'm really curious about their 9600 X3D. I haven't seen if it's quite released just quite yet. Oh, nice. Metal Gear seems like it has been released. I've heard a lot of talks about it. Has anyone played the new Metal Gear Snake Eater? And that's what's currently going on Discord. And I'm actually... That is actually the only game I haven't really beat out the whole Metal Gear series was Snake Eater. And I played just about all of them, except I can't really consider 4 and 5 because I actually haven't played them. I heard that they're great games, and I actually have the Metal Gear Solid 5 in my Steam library, but it's just been sitting there, and I had it since release. I just haven't really had a chance to play it, especially when you get all these Steam sales and you're unable to really get to the games that you really want to. So it seems that Joe has been trying out this new Metal Gear Solid. Hopefully it's been great. And yeah, Battlefield 6. I certainly miss it. Hopefully you guys got to try it out. And it's been quite impressive, I gotta say. Battlefield 6 has a very decent pace for the most part. I am impressed, I gotta say. It's been great when it comes to the whole combat side. It's not it's not very fast paced like how it is when it comes to something like Call of Duty, where you're used to just like immediate getting some action right off the bat. It's more of it's like a very fair pace. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, but it is very satisfying when you get those kills off of battlefield, especially when you're in a vehicle such like an Abrams or a jet. And it's definitely a lot of fun for the most part. And for those who are building a PC, I do have to mention, if you are planning to, if you want Battlefield 6 and you're building a Intel build, actually this weekend, Intel is giving away Battlefield 6 codes with the processor, whether it's 200 series. I think even the 13th and the 14th gen, they are also giving out Battlefield 6 keys. But I'll double check it and share with you guys once I pull that information. So, did you get information on the fission with the SSD M.2 controller? Has to take out legal actions because some of the documents are called out fake. Oh, really? No, I didn't see that. That's really interesting for the most part. Let's actually pull that up. It's funny too because it's like there's a lot of SSDs that do use fission drivers. I mean fission controllers, because the 1 gigabytes I can certainly say, I know the 10,000 Gen 5 also uses it. I know their 12,000 uses it. I do know Corsair's M600 also does use it as well. What else uses it? There's actually quite a few. Let's see. That's interesting though that they are taking some legal actions. That's funny. I'll actually share it with you guys here on the stream. I'll stream it right, that stream right over. Just gonna be black just for a minute. And where's it at? There we go. Perfect. There it is. So what a mess. So people don't know what models are now affected or not, and this is irritating. And that's the thing. I'll actually show you guys like a way where you can see, because I know not everybody is going to be really familiar with the whole. Not everyone's going to be really familiar with the whole side of when it comes to fission, I gotta say. If they're not sure that if they got a fission controller in their SSD, but I will certainly show you how you can do so. Right now I'm just checking the other feed, make sure I got this correct. Oh, I got it. There we go. Perfect. So it says that Fission takes legal action over these falsified documents. And I can't UI. Yeah, exactly. So they said, we wish to state unequivocally that the document in question reproduced down below is neither official nor official communication from Fission. So I guess they're not sure if it really is from Fission or not. And there goes one of them, Crucial's P510. It's going to be a very good amount of SSDs. They actually make quite a few. And if you're curious, I will show you exactly how you can find out if you have a fission controller in your SSD. And yes, uninstall the update. They actually do have a rollback update specifically for that Windows update. And I can pull the number. Let me see. I'll pull the number for you guys right now. It's 800. It's 800 something. Let's see. So yeah. So actually, it's the key issues with the KB5063878. That's what it is. 357. So I do have a video coming out based on it. So that's where I'm just getting it off of the number. So there will be a guide on what you can do on how to kind of go back to, you can roll back your drive. Now I keep saying driver because I'm used to rolling back drivers more, but if you have to roll back your Windows update, you can. And if you already lost some important information, we will certainly, I will certainly show you how you can recover that information. And it's actually through a great software company, which I will mention in just a few. But currently, with this whole issue that is going on with the Fission controllers, it seems that allegedly there is a court document where they said that they are going against Microsoft. And thanks for Simply Takuma for bringing this up, that there are going to be, it has to do with a lot of file heavy transfers, which is part of the issue. A lot of data that is stored into the SSD that's usually over 50 gigabytes, some say over 30 gigabytes, has gone missing from the claim. So Fission is currently investigating the issue. Oh, really? That is insane. So you're apparently they hopefully this will work, but I will definitely have a video based on it by tomorrow morning. Hopefully this will work. If it doesn't, that's okay. I will show you exactly what you can do. And it seems like right now it's neither official nor unofficial from Fission. The company told Tom's Hardware. So here's a document of the file that's out, and here's the affected models. So they actually took a photo of it. Let's get a large scale of it so everybody can see it here. That the affected models are going to be the these are just the controller models, so you don't have to really look at that. The more important side is you want to look at the example SSDs. Again, it's going to be a pretty decent amount of SSDs, where it says Corsair's Force MP600, which I mentioned, the SanDisk Extreme Pro M.2, you have Seagate's Fire CUDA 510, you have Sabrent Rocket's 4 Plus, you have the Inland's Performance Plus, which is usually Microsoft's brand, not Microsoft, Micro Center's brand. They have Team Group MP4L, and early PCIe 5.0 prototypes are also affected. You know what? Your Samsung might be good, and I'll show you what. We're going to go to this other website here, where you can actually take a look and see if your card has been really affected or not. And let me just go back to the regular chat just for a moment, guys, and I will pull it up for you. And I'll show you what website you can go on to get it. And it's actually a great website when you even look up GPUs and everything. So it's usually, I like to go on Tech Power Up. And Tech Power Up's a really good website to look up information such as SSDs. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into Tech Power Up real quick. And it will be able, man, I gotta say, there we go. So we'll use that for an example, this Samsung's 990. Samsung 990 Pro. So, okay, so the good thing is, there you go, that's your answer right there. So, the controller that they use is Samsung's Pascal. It's been great. I gotta say, it has been awesome for it. It seems like that they also noted that multiple hardware versions have been found. Performance could vary, and unannounced flash controller changes. More than likely, the controller is going to remain the same. Usually, Samsung likes to stick to their self when it comes to their chipsets anyway. So Samsung is in the clear. So you more than likely will be okay for anyone who has a Samsung SSD. But I can say, I know for sure, I remember Gigabyte is Fission. And I actually just spoke about controllers not that long ago when we were doing the test with Western Digital's Blue against the PCI Express 5 to see how well it would do. And let's see. Gigabyte's 10,000. So for example, here we have Fission's E26. So this would be in jeopardy of possibly losing some of that important retention, important storage that you could really have in that SSD. But again, The issue can vary. It all depends. Again, be very careful. If you haven't done the update already for Windows 11, just don't do it. It's not really necessary. Hopefully it doesn't affect any type of gameplay. Usually it's good to update Windows because it's good to remove all the bugs or any type of loopholes that the system really does have. But this is going to wreak more havoc than actually fix issues. So that's what you don't want. So then I am relieved a bit. I hope Windows brings an update next week ASAP. They should. And also for anybody out there who is running into this issue, I'm going to share this with you guys. There is a program out there called Stellar Data Recovery. Stellar Data Recovery is really good for this. So I'm going to open it up. And let me just switch over here to the Windows so you guys can see it. It's going to look something like this. Right there. And I'll pull it into screen. Where is it? And right there. For some reason, it doesn't want to show up. You can see my mouse though. Okay, so I'll try to get back to that in a second. But Stellar Data Recovery is really good. You'll be able to kind of see it, I guess, from the camera side. I'll move this over on this side. But Stellar Data Recovery is really good for something like this. And thanks to Stellar Data Recovery for being part of this video as well, as they do have really excellent software to be able to find any lost information. That is important. So we're going to go back. You can actually even save information, which is nice after a deep scan, but that takes hours to do. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know how OBS can really do it. Okay, so all I have to do is save it. Usually when you have to save, say like some previous search, you got to save in a different drive. Otherwise it won't work. So what we'll do is instead, we'll try to save it. And then we'll try to go back and try to capture it once more. Hopefully it'll work this time. Let's see. Go back. And let me go here. Let's try capture automatic. Nope, that one didn't work. All right, try it again. Let's try this one. It's funny because it's like 3 different things they have for it. Okay. It doesn't want to connect to it. All right, that's okay. We'll just go ahead and do it this way. So let me try. You know what? I can flip it around this camera. Hopefully you guys can see it well. If you need me to pull the camera closer to the PC screen, let me know. I'm going to just change out this the aperture just a bit so that way you guys can clear it up a bit. Maybe. Yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe they don't want any information being lost or leaked, or it's going to look dark for a minute. And I'm going to raise this up real quick so you guys can see it. There we go. Bring in some light. There we go. You can kind of see it, right? But I'll tap it. So back here, I cleared it up as much as I can, and hopefully you guys can pick up on it. But practically, when Stellar Recovery Data, what you can do is, if you have your system drive, it'll give you kind of a Windows logo. And it'll let you know that, of course, usually it's the C drive when you do have your files most of the time. And it's also going to be your local drive of when you install your Windows OS. So everything will be contained here. All your other drives, such as your storage drives, will be listed on other listed areas. So you'll see, say, your D drive, your E drive, depending on what you name your drives. And they also have a USB where you're able to plug it in, and such as you can use your external drives, you can use your SD cards, you can use your SD flash cards, depends on what you use, and you are able to recover any type of lost information, which is really nice. Now, I'm going to show the software a bit more in action, of course, tomorrow on the release on Sunday of the video, just in case if you do have to recover anything that is lost. Stellar Data Recovery can certainly do it. They do have 3 different tiers of usage. You know what? Matter of fact, maybe the best way I can show this in action is through the browser. So I can't show the software, but maybe we can share the website and we can see it that way. But if you do lose any type of information, let me see. Let me just adjust this real quick. If you do lose any type of information, you're going to want to, and I'll start it right here from the top for you guys. And let's go ahead but before we do, let me just check this Twitch feed real quick. I just realized something too. Oh, that's funny. I wonder why it's so quiet. And it seems like on my Twitch feed it's not really correct either. I gotta restart that. That's okay. Not an issue. No wonder why there's nobody on the Twitch side. There we go. Now, hopefully that worked. Okay, so let's go to Stellar Data Recovery here. And go ahead. Let's see. And switch out Windows. Instead of going into Stellar Data Recovery, we'll just go into the website. There we go. That's it right there. Man, it's funny because I'm toggling between both the whole vertical side, but I don't know if it's pointless. So, simply Takuma says, a tip for people, maybe also check your M.2 card SSD with crystal disk info if something is wrong. Maybe you see some damage, then you know to update that killed M.2. That is true. Crystal Disk Info is also great. It's a free piece of software, which is even better for everybody out there. Now, Stellar Data Recovery, you can certainly try it out. They do have a demo version of it, and you can actually see the different files it'll find. It's quite amazing. So the key of Stellar Data Recovery, you can recover any type of lost drive, unallocated partition. You could even do partition recovery, data recovery from physical disk, and the best part, my personal favorite, is the whole deep scanning side, but expect it to scan, if you have a really large drive, expect it to scan for quite a bit. It takes some time to scan. It takes like a few hours for the deep scan to work because it really does search every bit of space on your drive. So depending on how old your drive, say you got it from 2022, it'll actually find the files even from 2022 that you have deleted. Maybe you had a photo way back then that you wish you never deleted, and you are able to recover it with Stellar Data Recovery, which is really nice. Also, they do have a specific file search if you know the name of the file, but it has a ton of features on this side. Now, just to show you how easy it is, installation is pretty straightforward. But I will show you how to install Stellar Data Recovery if you do run into an issue with Windows 11. Now, You can order the software through, you can do it through the actual software if you want. Now I just want to show you on how it works and show you what the UI looks like. It's really easy. It's absolutely a great program. I gotta say, it's amazing. I was amazed by what type of documents I was able to pull up, because as you guys know, I do a lot of content creating, and I was able to even pull up older videos that that I know I deleted on purpose, and it was able to pull it up. And I can't wait to show you the power of it when that video does get released. So it comes up really, it's a really easy UI. It won't be confusing for anybody out there, especially if, say, you lost a whole game, and it can happen. And sometimes your game folders will contain your saved files. That also does help in that sense. It does have the connected drives right here, and where it would show, say, your C drive, your D drive, or whatever you plug in. I'll show your physical disk and your different common locations. You could even do a specific search on a common location, so that way you're able to recover what you need. Also, you can recover data from existing drives. Now, of course, that's the most important part, especially if it is lost. You have to recover it from an existing drive. Or maybe you formatted a drive where you're moving it to a new PC, and you're like, oh, I had a file that I really needed in there, and now I really got to go get it, but now it's gone. I formatted it, it's too late. Luckily, with Stellar Data Recovery, it's not too late. You are able to recover that information. And if you're able to recover practically a formatted drive, you are certainly able to recover anything that Windows 11 update has removed for the most part. So you can recover even from CDs, DVDs if you need to. You can recover from crashed PCs. But that is just a gist of Stellar Data's recovery, and I can't wait to show you how well it works. I will definitely talk in a bit more detail. There goes the light acting a little bit crazy. I will definitely talk in a little bit more detail. Let me get this light back on here. And my remote, there we go. And I will definitely talk in a lot more detail about it once tomorrow. It will be a much more clear video on this subject. Ooh, I already saved all my game files on USB stick. That is a good move. I know some people might feel like, who needs to do save files on physical disk? We have the cloud now, but you don't want to always rely on the cloud. If you ever opened up a game, especially on Steam, anybody that has run into this issue, or if you haven't, be wary. Sometimes you can open up a game not realizing that the cloud data has not synced, and when it doesn't sync, you'll be pretty pissed to find out that the game has not been really saved. Instead, you're going to be opening a file maybe that you played 2 days ago instead of just last night. So be wary of that, and Simply Takuma has a great tip on making sure to save any of your files onto a physical disk as well, as it's important. And I've done it a ton of times. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm haven't beat Shenmue 3 is because I keep starting the game over, and every time I start my PC, and anytime I do like some sort of reset to the PC where I just want to start fresh again, then there goes my Shenmue 3 file. It's one of the few games where it doesn't really sync really well with Steam. So you don't want that to happen, especially if you have a game such as Baldur's Gate 3. That would really suck on a game like that. But for those who have any hardware questions, feel free to ask as well. As I gotta say, it's been very interesting on the hardware side, which I gotta share with you guys. And let's see, we have PNY with their Chrome GPU. We have ASUS with their ROG Matrix. We even have, and also I do gotta talk about this. This is a bit interesting. There's a bit of controversy from this. I almost completely forgot to mention this, But everybody who fears the 12 volt high power port probably saw the article about the 12 volt high power port melting. And this isn't on a RTX 5090, on a RTX 5080. It's actually not an NVIDIA card at all. This actually happened on a AMD card, on AMD's card, the RX 9070 XT. Now and you might question, you might say AMD has 12 volt high power port, and yeah, they do. It just depends on the certain model. In fact, we did a build not too long ago. We did a Sapphire Nitro Plus build. It actually contains the 12 volt high power port as well, but again, we had no issues with it so far. It seems like it's been phenomenal and has been great. And actually, we sent out that PC from Florida to New York, and I'm going to get my my friend out there to see how well it stayed intact. And so far, he said it seems like everything's great. And I definitely want to experiment later when I get the chance, is shipping PCs more worldwide. So that way, if anybody does want a custom built PC, you can just go to the website, order, and hopefully we can become more international in that case. The only place we probably wouldn't be able to really ship out to would be some place like Brazil, because again, it's a lot more difficult due to the different customs that are there. So anyway, with the 12 volt high power port, what's happening is it seems like it melted on a Taichi RX 9070 XT. And the reason why it melted was not because of the card. It was actually because the power supply was actually a very low end one. And I guess he was just trying to save money. And the guy's name, the username, it's even funny. It's his username is Savings Opportunity 3. So that gives you indication. And this is his exact quote unquote. All right, let me say, before we go far down this rabbit hole, I understand that the PSU is cheap. Under the recommendation, however, it was sufficient capacity for my system. Given the connector is rated for 600 watts and it melted at 340 is the main issue here. Bad PSU or not, I still think this would have happened with a good PSU. But the thing is, again, what he's holding on his hand, which I will switch over to the browser right here so you can get a clearer photo of it. I'm not even going to mess with the vertical stream because I don't even think there's any vertical stream guys in here. But if you look right here, you can clearly see it, that it is a harness. It's just the one that comes with the GPU. It's not directly to the PSU, so he's just relying on 3 PCI Express connectors from the power supply in order to power up this harness, which is, there's nothing wrong to use a harness, but that gives you indication that, especially if you're using a poor power supply, especially if it's not a great company, you're really trusting. So you're really giving a chance of some sort of shortage. And what really causes a lot of these type of issues too is because when it is a poor power supply, this is what I have to explain here, is even though it has the capacity, it can do it, sure, it probably could. In fact, it probably has even more than what they stated. Like maybe it has, instead of it being a 600 watt power supply, maybe it was a 650 watt power supply. The problem is when you do buy cheaper PSUs is that sometimes what can happen, and this is a big issue that PSUs always had, and this is why I really insist on buying a reputable PSU, because again, a bad PSU can cause a lot of damage because there is no type of voltage regulation. And if there's no voltage regulation, it can cause spikes and it can cause melting such as this. So you want to make sure to get a decent PSU. At least I recommend something like Corsair. Seasonic is one of my personal favorites. You can purchase from, what else is another great company? Thermaltake's pretty decent. I have no issues with them. Even EVGA, they have their power supplies that are also great. There's a lot of great companies out there don't try to buy some unknown PSU. That is definitely the worst possible mistake, especially on a PC build. I always highly recommend get a reputable PSU, and especially that you're throwing some decent money into the build. Usually builds are going to cost at least a little bit over $1,000, $2,000, depending on your budget. And if you're doing this build, you don't want to destroy a component or risk destroying more components than necessary when you do this PC build. Because if that voltage spike has happened from that power supply, who knows, it could have not only damaged his GPU, but it could also damage other components such as your CPU. It could damage your motherboard, and you really don't want that to happen. So, Simply Takuma says, "Oh man, do not save money on a rig. That is wrong. I don't recommend saving on parts. That is very important. Don't even think of buying 80 plus bronze PSU. Go gold, platinum. Agreed. If you go gold or platinum, they're the go-tos when it comes to PSUs. Because again, not only do you save money, you actually save money because they are more power efficient, and that the regulation is it actually works on those type of power supplies compared to something that is not going to be regulated. So again, highly recommend that get a very good PSU, and especially if you're going to spend some decent money on a GPU, such as even the RX 9070 XT might not be an RTX 5090, but it doesn't matter. Especially if you are buying a RTX 5090, do not buy a cheap PSU. You want to, again, buy a very good PSU. Otherwise, you can run into serious problems, and then you'll end up on Reddit just like this guy. So you want to make sure to get a decent PSU when you do your build. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't get Xinguang. Yes, exactly. Do not go to Temu to purchase your PSUs. Do not go to Alibaba or at any of those websites. Please stay away from them, because you might not hear of an issue initially. You might even have a whole form of people. This is the funny thing about the internet. You might have the whole form of people saying, "Oh, I just got this PSU and it works great." Sure, it might work great for one day, but it's not going to last. It never does. And then maybe about, say, 2 months down the line, or even, say, 5 months down the line, he's like, "Oh, my motherboard's has been shorted out." And the reason why was, it turns out it was the power supply that I bought 5 months ago. But now you have all these people that probably did purchase that power supply because of the post that said, "I just purchased this PSU." So please watch out, everybody, if you do go somewhere like Reddit or any type of website really that has a forum saying that they just purchased it and works great. Sure, again, it can work great for one day, but you don't know if it's going to be really long lasting. That's why it's so important to get something like something that has truly been tested. And sure, you might feel it's a little bit more pricey and more expensive to get a brand PSU, and that you feel that brands throw a tax on it, but you have to also remember they also do go through a phase of testing. So when they do go through testing, you know that they've been pushed for at least say 10,000 hours. Maybe they'll push a PSU to see how well it runs, or even up to 100,000 hours to make sure that every specification is to par. And if you do buy a cheap PSU, it's not going to go through the same type of rigorous testing. So, my friend bringing a system with a friend nameless Temu motherboard on a Intel 9th Gen CPU on it. Man, I rant. I don't blame you. I would completely rant on that, especially if somebody has done that, like purchased something from Temu. I've heard plenty of people say, "I got my motherboard from Temu." Every single component, nearly. And it's funny too. I'm sure you've heard different stories about different processors claiming that it's this type of processor, but it's really not. They put some sort of sticker. It's happened with the whole AMD debacle, where they were selling 9800 X3Ds, but really it was just a sticker on top of like a 5800X, or just a standard 5800 where it's a whole different socket. So you'll get a good indication if you are buying something cheap. And also, please be wary. Also, another thing I do have to mention that you also have to be careful of for any PC builders out there that is on the way of wanting to build a PC. You want to make sure to be careful of the purchases that you make from Best Buy currently. Now, this isn't really on Gigabyte. This is more or so on the whole advertisement side. Best Buy was advertising the Z890s that you can purchase with a free 13th or 14th gen processor. Not free, but like kind of like a bundle. More like you get a big discount. And because of that, people were purchasing these motherboards and processors, but the thing is that they're not compatible with each other. So when you do purchase a Z890 board, technically you should go with something that is from Arrow Lake. So you have to get something from the 15th generation. And that is something to be careful of. I'm pretty sure that they took it down by now, because it's happened since like the beginning of this week. Actually, like probably maybe Friday, Thursday of last week even. And that's when it started, and it seemed like it was continuing for a bit. And I'll actually even show you the ad. It's actually pretty funny. Let me see. You know what? It might be. Let's see. I'll show it to you. G90 motherboard. It's a Gigabyte motherboard combo, and it was. And I'll bring it up. Let's see. And then I'll switch over the screen so you guys can see it. News. Let me see. Maybe it was. I think, you know what? I can probably find it quicker on my Discord. I think it was under PC hardware. And let's look it up. Where was it? But just be wary of that. Be careful. Here it is. And I'll switch it over. Just give me a moment. There we go. Perfect. So this is the bundle right here. Looks tempting, right? Well, I understand that not everybody could buy almost $1,000 motherboard, but a $32, yeah, absolutely. You want to stay away from those $32 motherboards. You know what? We should, just for fun, we should just go on Alibaba just to see what they have for Z890s and for and see what they have for X870Es. So this is a Gigabyte advertises incompatible Z890. Yeah, it's hilarious, right? So they got a Z790. This is fine. The Z790 is okay. This is where they messed up here. The Z890 AORUS Elite Wi-Fi 7 with a 14600K. So can you imagine if anyone has bought this? And the crazy part is, if you're really, say if you're not really knowledgeable in the subject, everybody can be new. That's perfectly, it happens. You can be new on a PC build and not be really 100% sure on what parts are really compatible with each other. But if you put those two together, it's even going to actually look like they're compatible, because it's not like the pins are on the processor. It's not like going from a 5000 series to a 7000 series, because you'll know right away. So for anyone who did get this PC was more, I'm not PC, but this motherboard and this processor combo are probably like, okay, they're gonna fit well together, and then it's not just not gonna work because it doesn't have the pin set that is required to start up this motherboard and processor combination. So it can be a bit messy. So I can't imagine for anyone who did attempt to build a PC. Luckily, I haven't really heard any attempts of anybody building a PC with a Z890 and a 14 gen processor. But if you did, let me know. I'm just really curious on what type of result that they ended up on. But yeah, play harder. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Play harder twice. Exactly. So can you, Best Buy, I know it has to be heard from that. That was just a mess on that side. Let's go ahead and go on Alibaba and let's take a look on some of these combos or AliExpress, and we'll get a good indication of what we can stay away from. Why is everything in? It's funny, like right when I clicked on it, everything is in German. All right, so we want to. Why is it in German? Oh, that's why. For some reason. Oh, did they? Oh, maybe that it's because they're not in the US anymore. I don't know. Nah, that can't be it. Okay, so there we go. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and switch over real quick. And switch over this. Feel bad for my vertical viewers out there. They probably have no idea that this stream is going on. I gotta definitely give some feedback to YouTube about this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think so. I agree, Simply Takuma. Let's see. There we go. So they got a back to school special going on for anyone that is curious. So let's go ahead. So what should we type in first? We should type in, should we see what type of X870Es that they have here on AliExpress? There it is. And you know people have searched it. So they do got MSI. They do got some MSI ones. Are they really MSI is the question. Yeah, I feel bad. Again, the vertical people have probably no idea what's going on. I do apologize for if this is like some sort of time shift. I've been trying to go earlier, especially for my people out in Europe there. It's a lot easier to catch, I feel. Because I know you guys are about 5 hours ahead than at the time that we are here Eastern time. So, MSI MPG X870E Carbon. Do you think this is legit? It's funny too because I mean it looks legit, but again I don't have a lot of trust in AliExpress either, right? It's kind of expensive, right? $700 for X870E, but it looks like a German store here, if I'm not mistaken. And AliExpress is kind of like, it has like a bunch of different sellers. There you go, brand new ASUS ROG Crosshair X, right there. Let's see, 1260. It's way higher than what it should be. Priced at way higher of a price, and it doesn't look new. Exactly, that's like double the price, right? All right, so let's look for the value ones. That's what I'm more curious about. Ready to look for some value ones? We're going to sort it by price here. Oh, wow. So they actually don't have any X870Es for a really low price. The cheapest one that they have. Oh, wait, they do. Never mind. I found it. Take a look. Anybody wants a B650? It's called Jinyu. There we go. And they even come with a processor and RAM for 119 bucks. What's up, Wasabi? Glad to see you. Welcome in. Thank you for the wonderful donation. It's funny. Wasabi, are you seeing it the horizontal view? I think everybody that's been in here is watching through the horizontal and not through the vertical side. I don't know what to say about the whole vertical. I've been trying to fix this issue too, which is pretty wild. So take a look at this set. Anybody interested in this? B650M Pro, DDR5, 6000 megahertz, and Ryzen R7 7700s. All for $119.08. Okay, this is the alarming part here. Okay, I kind of figured that. I think there's an issue with the whole vertical side. It's streaming vertically, but it doesn't seem like it's really pushing the vertically as it should. I tried testing it on my phone, and I tried doing it the other way, but it seems like they don't allow it that direction anymore for some weird reason. But I'm glad you are here for sure. And you know what the alarming part is? Take a look here. You see that there's 3 reviews. You got 3 reviews. Now, it's only 3 reviews, so it's sketchy, right? And it has 13 sold. That's the alarming part. So people actually did buy this kit. This whole kit. So for the whole kit, oh, okay. So for the whole kit, it's $503. That's what I thought. But I think there's a different price on them. Because if I just hit motherboard, it's just for the motherboard. And so it's a bit tricky. They weren't really clear with it. So down here, motherboard, CPU, and RAM is $503. So the motherboard itself is about $119, I'm guessing. Now, if you go down here, let's take a look at the comments here. He has a picture of it, of his PC started up, and again, and this is back from May. I would love to ask him how the PC's holding up, because it says it was complicated to install, but a good product. So let me pause that right there. It was complicated to install. Why was it complicated to install the motherboard? That's all I got to know. Was the holes not really lined up correctly? Was it that the backplate the I/O of the motherboard, did it not really sit really flush like it's supposed to on the back of the PC case? That is very interesting. It was complicated to install. Maybe I never told you, but I bought parts for a white build in early 2025 so far. I bought a Mobo B650E AORUS white DDR5 Corsair 32. Oh, wow. That is solid. I am looking forward to it. I know you're going to be doing that build. You're doing a stream on the build, isn't that correct, Wasabi? And when you do, you definitely got to show it off, for sure. Best comment ever of the bar. Right. It was complicated to install, but it is a good product, quality, price, what it offers for the cost, and it is not bad. And he even gives the, nice. So let me adjust this aperture real quick. Fix this. It's going to be bright just for a second. And That way it kind of focuses a bit better. There we go. Okay, so that's what he says. Now, here's this sketchy ones. He just bought the motherboard. That was just the motherboard. That wasn't even the kit. Oh, he has another photo here. So, if you look at this photo, kind of hard to see, right? I'm trying to see. Man, if you can, hopefully you guys can see that as well as I can. But if you look at some of those, if you look at those capacitors, and you look at some of those soldered units here, it kind of looks a bit sketchy if you really zoom in. They don't look even. I might, but I don't know what to do with the second build. I would like to learn how to use Linux, but it seems over. I'd go ahead and use Linux. I gotta say, it's definitely changed a lot over the years. It's improved. It's a lot more easier and user friendly. It does have a UI, depending on the type of Linux that you use. But you can start up with something such as Ubuntu is something I would highly recommend to start off with. It's a great OS to go off of. But Linux is a lot of fun. You could dual boot it. You could even try it in a virtual machine to see how you like it. And if you try it in a virtual machine, you can also, it's just like using it on your PC. But it takes a little bit to set it up. But you get a little taste of what it's like before you actually install it as part of your OS. Or you can even dual boot it if you would prefer a dual boot system. I think Temu is more bad. I saw SOYP. Oh, really? It's funny, too, because it makes sense. Temu says that they'll give you like $200 worth of product if you just sign up. So that's kind of a red flag there. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's, you know what? Let's go on Temu then. Let's see. Oh, I failed the security verification. All right, we did it. Now we have access to Temu. All right, so let's see what type of motherboards that they have here. Oh yeah, you weren't kidding. They still have DDR3. The first results is something from DDR3. Can you imagine? They say they probably sell it. They say new product, ATX, LGA 1150. Man, that shows you its age. So this is like from 2012, about maybe 2012, 2013. Motherboard, Soyo. I'll definitely look that up. I like the name of it. Soyo. Okay, let's look up Soyo. Soyo Radeon RX 590. Oh, what's happening? There we go. Soyo RX 590. 8 gigabyte. There it is. There's that beast. Can't find it on Newegg. Can't find it on. You can't find it on Best Buy. You can't find it at Micro Center. But it's exclusive to Temu. Oh wow! Once you click it, you saw that. That's going to be your PC if you put that in. All right, so it's so if you look at it, they got the Radeon RX 590 GME, which is only about 240 millimeters height-wise. Thick, it's about 45 millimeters, 135, and I really like the sticker that they put on it. It's supposed to look like carbon fiber, but it's clearly plastic that's here on the front of it. On the side of the card here. And then, what is that? Let's look closer. Look at that power connector right there. I know I gotta adjust this so you guys can see it, but absolutely the best GPU. It's so power efficient. It's so power efficient. You only need 6 pins to power it up. That is the craziest thing I've seen on a GPU. The 1590 at home. Take a look at that. Isn't that wild? It does take up, just to forewarn you, it does take a stunning 2 slots in order to take up this GPU here. Found a GT 1030 from Yeston. Yikes. Oh, wow. Take a look at the back. That's alarming. The back plate. Look at that. It looks like if you look on the back of it, you see those holes there? That looks really sketchy. Almost looks like it was 3D printed, this back plate, and that they just put it on the back, and they kind of drilled it out and put these almost like self-tap screws. And the crazy part is, really take a look at this. This is what's alarming. You see this screw here? How mismatched that is? And then you have the rest of the screws here. This is mismatched as well. This one. And this one's a bit raised. It doesn't look like it's really in there correctly. It almost looks like it got drilled in at an angle. I hope this was this photoshopped or did they really, because that looks a mess. And here you go. They want to show you it on Tech Power Up. The RX 590 GME PCI Express at a stunning 3.0. A Yeeson R7 350. Oh, wow. All right, you know what? Let's take a look. See if they got let's take a look at the GT 1030. This website doesn't even work right. GT 1030. Oh yeah, there it is. There goes that beast. Just what we were looking for the build. A GT 1030. Has a stunning 4 terabytes. And the best part, you can feel pretty confident because it does have the approval that it's quality control passed. They blurred out the serial number so nobody can steal your warranty through your Easton warranty there. It has that single Cyclops look to it, so it has that one big fan in the front, has that eye. And that's how your games should be moving about. It's Yeston. It has to be called Yeston. And look, have you noticed on the support here? Look at on the top here what they even say. They even claim this, which is pretty. Yeah, I'm really curious if it can run Crisis. It reminds me of my 3050. Oh, really? Look at what they say here on the description. High speed at 180 hertz at 60 hertz. And this is the tricky part. They put 4K support. So it's going to make people think it can run at 180 hertz at 60 hertz. What kind of wording is this? And anyway, it goes to 4K support. So it's saying, could it do 180 hertz with 4K or 60 hertz at 4K? But either way, I highly doubt it. It can run 4K at even 60 hertz. And 40 bytes per second. Memory, 32 gigabytes of storage. What? 32 gigabytes of storage. This is really weird wording, right? And then fan cooling system, DirectX 10 and 11. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The title's making absolutely no sense. Graphic processing unit for this gaming and work professional look. So this has more of a professional look, I guess. I wonder who really thought of this. Okay, so let's try to put in, let's put in NVIDIA and see what comes up. NVIDIA. Oh wow, they got some gaming laptops out here. Let's see. They got a, yeah. Let's try. Let's go, because we're on a budget. We want to get the lowest, cheapest PC we can get. $214 here. Yeah. So okay, so you get this PC, a gaming PC. It's the HP Elite Desk. They even have, I know this isn't from HP because they don't come with this keyboard. It even comes with games. So just okay. Again, it says $214.99, and it shows Grand Theft Auto 5. It shows Forza Horizon 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty, and that looks like what, Black Ops. It looks like Black Ops 6. And what is this card that is right next to it? You see right under there? It almost looks like a burnt. I'll show you. Like this. I don't know what they did there, but that does not look good. Is that supposed to be the GPU that can that can run these games? Oh man. All right, so let's see what they offer here. So it's Intel i5 6500. Okay, that's a very interesting start. 128 gigabyte SSD. Yeah, right. Makes no sense. Like when they were talking about that. It says solid SSD for this one. Wi-Fi, NVIDIA graphics. Not very specific, just NVIDIA graphics. LED monitor screen. So it comes with a screen. RGB speakers. Gaming keyboard and mouse. Let me see. Does it come? Let's see the screen. Where is the screen? They tell you it comes with a screen, but they don't show you exactly. I know it doesn't come with these two screens. These displays. That port. Yeah, absolutely. That is going to. It's definitely going to catch fire. So let's zoom in on this real quick. And now we got the technical specifications here. Now it says, okay, so it's Intel i5 6500. So they give you up to a 24-inch LED monitor. I really doubt it's going to have a monitor with this. I think they just copy and pasted this. But anyway, storage up to 512 gigabytes. RGB dual speakers. And it comes with a GTX 1660. And for those, if you guys haven't heard, for those who still do have a GTX, say 1660, or if you have any of those 10 series cards that NVIDIA has already stated that they're not going to be supporting those cards anymore. So I guess they built much more of a beast than anticipated because they are trying to get more people to purchase more of their newer cards, to throw that out there. So if anybody's on a GTX 10 series still, they said that they're just going to focus from the RTX series from now on. But moving on about this PC, it does have 4 gigabytes of a, so it has 4 gigabytes of a G5. So that's really interesting. Operating 7. Okay. Now this is really questionable, right? Now here, we all know. Let me try to drag the screen over. Like this. Right there. Okay, so this is really questionable here. It says that the operating system is Windows 11 Pro, 64-bit connectivity options. Okay, so obviously they copied and pasted this part because connectivity options is up here next to Windows 11 Pro, 64-bit. And then the second part is how the hell would it have Windows 11 Pro 64-bit with these specifications here? It doesn't even have TPM on it. On this type of motherboard, it certainly doesn't have TPM. This is PC approximately about the year, I would say 20, it was, what was it? 20, I'd say 15 about, if that. Probably 20, yeah, about 2015. Have you seen last week AMD stopped the production of the 5700X3D? Oh, really? So AMD has stopped production of the 5700X3D? That's pretty insane, actually. Considering that is one of their top lines when it comes to AMD, their AM4 series, I gotta say, is still amazing, I gotta say. And that they're still producing some things for it, but it's a shame that they completely stopped the 5700X3D. My condolences to the 5700X3D because AMD has been amazing. That gen has been incredible, but I'm really curious to see how AMD does handle the whole new how they handle with the new Zen 6 processors once they start releasing those, because I know they saved their best silicone processors for that. So, and okay, the funny thing is, okay, so it's claiming it's TPM version 2.0. So where did they get this from? They must have pulled it off of something else here. It says G3 Tower. It says found the M.2 card from the seller 6 for $50. That's a steal. You think the new Windows 11 update will work on that? On that Takuma about the $50 M.2 cards? It might. If you're lucky, it's okay. If one M.2 card fails, if one M.2 storage drive does fail, you do have 5 other ones you can use. Your name, opinion on the Core Ultra 9 285K. So on the 200, so I would say the 285K is a great processor. I would say for those, for those people that don't really or not really the fan of Intel's 285K, I get it. It could be because again it doesn't perform as well as their whole Raptor Lake refresh. I can say 285K is still an excellent processor. It will still perform those high production tasks, such as it's great for, especially for you if you use it for something like Adobe products. And it's also great if you are using it for some sort of production usage, because Intel is still the processor to use when it comes on that side. Now, when it comes to the whole gaming aspect of it, it still performs excellent. You can still use the 285K to be able to play all the games that you like. In fact, I'd even recommend the 265K if you're looking for solely gaming purposes. So I can say I would approve the 285K, but the only downfall I can say when it comes to this processor isn't really just the processor itself. I gotta say it's more from the generation of Intel, which is going to be once you have the Intel, say Z890, for example, you will be stuck in that generation for at least between the years of 2024 to 2026, meaning that Intel will only create processors for that board only between those years, compared to something like if you were to purchase, say, like a AMD motherboard, or even prior Intel's motherboards were a bit better when it came to the whole generation side, where that motherboard can last you even longer where it can last you up to, say, for example, AM5 released in about 2021 to 2022, and it's still going on to 26, and they're still creating processors for it, so it can last you up to 7 to 8 years, compared to something that can last you between 2 years. But if you don't really work on your PC too often, and you don't really want to change out the processor as often, then that really wouldn't affect you as much. But if you are more of a, if you are more interested into tinkering and modifying your PC, then you would also have to keep that in mind. But other than that, the 285K is still a great processor. Hopefully that answers your question. So, I saw the M.2 that looks like a Samsung 980, but it's not. And that's for $23. You know what's crazy? There's no type of regulation when it comes to it. And they sort of tried to regulate it more when it came to more like counterfeit products. You won't see any, you won't really see counterfeit products as much. And they really pushed on that. But they really should start pushing more on products that aren't really monitored. And the reason being is because you have so many people out there that will think that they are getting a good deal, or maybe that they could just be young and they just don't know any better, or that it could be just an older person that just is trying to figure out what they need for their PC, and they purchase this poorly created PC part that once they get it, it's just not going to perform to their expectations. So it would be nice if there was some sort of regulation on that side when it came to the whole, when it comes to quality. And plus, you could run into something that is dangerous. I mean, you saw a preview of that GT, what was it, the GT 1030 or the 1660, where it can explode. But, yeah, no problem, Medic. They look like counterfeit. Oh, I bet they do. Yeah, it's funny too, because I don't know how they get away with certain things here. I gotta say on Temu. Let's look it up. What was it, 980? Samsung 980. Samsung 980. Oh wow. Just real quick, I gotta share this with you guys too. This is pretty funny. Let's go back here onto the browser, because just look at that incredible speed. It's just amazingly fast. I haven't seen. Let me go back here to the browser. There you go, so you guys can see if vertical's even working. But anyway, the 6 SSD can run up to 13,623 megabytes per second exactly. And on top of it, it has 600 terabytes per written, has 2 gigabytes of DRAM cache, all for $189. And then it even uses, it uses the 6nm controller, which is, it doesn't say exactly which one. Let's take a deeper dive into this. So it has, okay, so now it says it has SLC cache tech. And please don't take this really serious, because I'm just being a bit sarcastic on the product here. Next gen 6nm controller. Oh, I know. Simply, I know, Takuma. I know you're talking about something else, but I just had to click. This was pretty much clickbait here, because it's like 13,623. Yes, you can get speeds like that, but why exactly 13,623 megabytes per second? And you're ready for the comments here. Okay, so let's take a look at the comments. I really like this one. Look at what Human Being said. He said, "Hell yeah, crazy good deal. I get 7,400 read speed and 6700 write speed. As seen in pick, we'll be buying another. You can't beat the price, fast shipping. So this was another one. There's no way that was the same one. So the reviews, I got to really work on this site. All right, so let's go over here and see, find this Samsung one. Let's see, where's it at? Samsung 980, where are you? Oh, I see which one you're talking about. This one. This looks like the knockoff. This looks like a knockoff. So if anyone who is on here who needs Samsung, first of all, this is not the font of Samsung. So make sure to stay away from a product such as this. Because take a look at this. It says reading speed up to 7,500 megabytes per second. Okay, just to show you guys, this is why you shouldn't be buying off of Temu when it comes to PC products, because you're not... Okay, take a look at this. I just got to bring this up. Is that his name? Jingru? Would you trust a home furnishing shop to sell you PC components? One day, if you're available or want... Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do want to, Wasabi, for sure. Just, again, anybody who doesn't follow on Discord, make sure you certainly follow on Discord. If you have any questions you don't really want to ask live, that's perfectly understandable. Feel free to ask on Discord, and I will certainly share it. Oh, hold on, guys. I got to plug in my camera. I got the battery symbol. I forgot to plug in my camera. Let's see. Hopefully the feed will continue for the most part, but just give me a moment to plug this in. There we go. Now we're good. All right. All right, perfect. Okay, so first off, you see where it says, that doesn't look like plus. That looks like piss. P-I-U-S. That's not even the proper font. Right then and there, that should throw you a red flag. I have a Samsung Gen 5 14700 megabytes per second, but upon test max, I get about 11,500 compared to my Gen 4. I give 7,000 above on each test. Oh, wow. So, I get it. So, it sounds like you have a pretty decent... Are you already running a 285K? I have to ask, because it sounds like you are running Gen 5 as it is. Or, he must have... I think he has the 9100. I'm pretty sure he has it. That's the only one that I know from Samsung that currently has Gen 5. It's such a weird naming scheme. I could have swore that Samsung was reserving, instead of 9100, I thought they were going to already move up and just change it over to something like the 10,000, Samsung 10,000, because then it feels like a whole new generation. But I feel 9100 is such a weird number. Same thing with Western Digital. Western Digital did the same thing, where they instead of it being called like the what was it, the 80. Now the name just slipped my mind, but they also have a really weird number for their Gen 5 SSD. I managed to scoop another 4 terabyte SSD. Pissing out light speed is the new PC gimmick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they really, and if you look at it, they really extended the U almost, because it's almost like they said piss. Like, yeah. I managed to scoop another 4 terabyte SSD, Samsung 990 Evo Plus. That's awesome, Wasabi. Definitely, Samsung has been the best when it comes to quality and their controller. I've never had issues with any type of wipe of lost data. I can certainly say that the last time I really ran into an issue with an SSD was personally for me was Sabrent. Back when they had their PCI Express 4, suddenly it just like everything disappeared, like off of the drive. And I had to end up sending that SSD into Sabrent, but luckily they were nice enough. They gave me a new one. I haven't had really any other issues from them, but that was a really weird issue. Just one day I went to turn on my PC, no OS was found, nothing was there. All my data was gone, which was insane. But again, I highly recommend anybody who does run into some sort of issue with SSDs, make sure to check out Stellar Data Recovery, a great tool to use if you do lose any very valuable data, especially when it comes to photos, videos, documents, or whatever that you're looking for. Check out Stellar Data Recovery. I will also have the link down in the description box. Once I get the chance, I will share it with you guys. Or just feel free to ask in Discord, and I will certainly share it with you guys. If you are looking for any specific data, it will certainly find it, and it can even find encrypted data. So, yes, I have the 285K Samsung 9100 Pro. So I wish the 9100 8TB would be out. They certainly need to come out with it. It would be really nice if they did. If they came out with the Samsung, I'm sure they will. Just give them time. But they do have that price factor when it comes to their products. But it's worth it. I mean, I've never had issues with them when it comes to that side, when it comes to their SSDs. Okay, so just to let you know, this SSD is very high quality flash. They even put it together because that's how fast it is. High quality flash memory particles. Hurry up and let's hurry up and let the future go further. So even the Samsung software, Samsung Magician is good. I managed to clone my 1TB current SSD with the 4TB SSD B9. I do agree. They do have great software. The good thing about their software, very easy to, but a lot of people might not know this, but when it comes to your SSD, it's also important to update the firmware on there. It actually even does help out the speed at times. So make sure to update your firmware when it comes to your SSD. And Samsung Magician has all that. You can update your firmware, you can update, you can do partitions, you can do all kinds of things on Samsung Magician. It is a great piece of software. Let's see, last thing. With this large capacity, it doesn't even specify the capacity, but it says with large capacity, it increases the storage space for the host, allowing you to store games to your heart's content. Advanced controller, high quality flash memory particles. They can't stress enough about the particles, the high quality particles that are on this SSD. So really think about those particles. I never had problems to pay when it came to quality. If a company can provide you quality, the customer service, you have my money. Absolutely very important when it comes to products. Any company that really fights you on what your defect is, typically isn't a good sign, and you kind of want to shy away a bit from those companies. Sure, there's companies out there that might doubt that you have this issue, but most will listen to the customer, especially because if it's an ongoing issue, they need to listen to the customer so they can immediately fix it. And the good thing is, if you do get it from a reputable company, as I mentioned earlier about the power supply issue with the whole RX 9070 XT, the Taiji edition, which I mentioned earlier, it burned out that 12-volt high power port connector. Because of it, they were unable to, they damaged practically their cable and their GPU. And it was all because they bought something from a website like this, like Temu, where particles matter. So, just a dumb question. I have, just to imagine, a Samsung M.2 card. Should I remove the sticker on the M.2 card or leave it on? Asking for a friend here. I would just recommend just I would recommend just leaving the sticker on. It doesn't really matter about removing the sticker. I know sometimes, like over time, they can end up peeling off on their own because of the heat dissipation. But I would say honestly, it doesn't really matter if you leave the sticker on or off. And of course, oh, they didn't stress about the particles here. Memory capacity, 1 terabyte, reading speed, up to 7350 megabytes per second, fast writing speed, and 7500 megabytes per second. I think, so they're saying that their reading speed isn't as fast, but they said fast writing speed, so it's just, yes, even Samsung had a problem there. They fixed it with the dead M.2 cards, but that was, I remember when Samsung had an issue before, and I remember it was mostly because of, this came when it came to the whole TLC and the QLC, like when they were all trying to figure that out, but that ended up resolving. It was on very specific NVMEs, I remember, but this was a little while ago when it happened. This was back on Gen 4, so when they were still like releasing Gen 4, or even like when it was new practically. So it was like about, I would say, it was a while ago, maybe like 7 years ago or so. 7 years ago, I think. So let's see. And just to let you know, they do have up to 128 gigabytes. I don't even, do they make 128 gigabytes? I don't even think they do for the 9. Let's look up if, I don't even think they do. 128 gigabyte 980E though. I don't even think they have 928. I think the lowest is 500, right? Let me see. Here, let's just go on Wiki and see. The lowest one that they have is 250. 250 is the lowest. Oh, you can hear it? You can hear the grass? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. That they're cutting it. They're cutting the grass right now. Just don't forget the sticker on the M.2 on your motherboard. Yeah, you know what? Make sure you take off the laminate off that. What Takuma is talking about is also make sure to remember to take that laminate off the thermal paste. That's also important if you are installing M.2 drive. It's going to be on both sides. So if you take it off, there's going to be one on the heatsink itself, and then there's going to be one on the motherboard side. So make sure to check both sides. They usually have thermal paste on both sides. Most SSDs do have a dual chip, so it's going to be on both sides of the SSD compared to just the single side, as it was in prior generations, since we're getting more into larger storage. I do hope that eventually we do get more larger storage. It seems like we're getting to a point where 1 terabyte seems to be very minimal now. Now they're selling up to 1 terabyte, up to 8 terabytes now. I agree. I just hope they have something that is, this was something that was talked to me before, and I'm sure you guys heard of it before, maybe. It's something called U3, U2, U3, and what that will do is it's practically just as fast as SSDs. And originally when they created SSDs was because it was for space saving storage. And because it was space-saving storage, they wanted to implement it more into things like laptops and more portable devices. But they found it very useful also for desktops. But what U2 and U3 can do is it's practically like a larger SSD, almost like kind of like an enclosed SSD drive, like something like the 2.5 inch drives that they have. And the U2 and U3 can store up to like say like 30 gigabytes. I'm not to get 30 gigabytes, 30 terabytes of storage compared to something just as 8. So can you imagine if that comes into more production, like 30 and 50 terabytes? That would be really nice. Yeah, no problem, Takuma. I haven't paid attention to that. Now I have to remove it and check it out. Oh, really? Oh, no, it's okay. I wouldn't worry too much. More than likely, it's not going to do anything to it. But it's good to, when you do take it off and check it out, good to peel it off anyway. A lot of people tend to make that mistake. Even like when you're installing it into, say, like a PlayStation 5 or something, and you put together those heat sinks, like some SSDs aren't compatible with PS5, so you have to purchase a separate heatsink. And when you do, they also have the thermal paste on them. I know some people have not taken off the plastic part, not realized it, and but again, it's happened to everybody. So, so interestingly enough, I gotta say, Timo has been quite interesting for the most part when it comes to PCs. Oh, look at this. Just for anyone looking, they even have this PC here, an STG Auburn PC with a Radeon RX 590 just for $494. Yes, those SSDs, I know that 30 terabytes, 2.5 are on the market, but one costs. Yeah, it's insane, right? It's just, the pricing is just way out there. It's like way off. There needs to be a price adjustment when it comes to storage space, because I feel like the cost of storage space is still a bit high compared to where it should be now. It should be a little bit more cheaper now, especially that we require so much more storage. It's insane when you think about it, because think of it like this. Sure, we got 8 terabyte NVMe's, but we're on the stage of where we have micro SD cards where they're like up to, I think they're the minimum or the maximum that they have is up to 1.2 terabytes now, like for an SD card, a micro SD card, which is insane. And so again, you want to stay away from anything that's like this from Temu. And please do not purchase a power supply. You know what? Let's take a look at power supplies. Power supply, we want a 1000 watt power supply. So let's go for sort by low to high. Some of these things aren't even power supplies. They're asking for some actually decent money for this one. Apevia. Check this. Sure thing. Is it under PC hardware? Perfect. Am I supposed to remove this? Okay. So I'm going to switch over to Discord, guys. Which... There we go. So you're asking if you have to remove this? No, you shouldn't have to. That looks like... Do you have another picture of it? Can you take it out? But from what it looks like, you don't have to. It looks like that's just going to be on the SSD. From what it looks like. Oh, the white package, you definitely got to pull it out. PSU on Tebow. Yeah, so from what it looks like, you don't have to take that off. That looks like that's going to, you just install it the way it is. Yeah, that it looks like the bottom. I think what Takuma is talking about is about the front of the SSD, that they usually do I have a stick? I don't have it. I don't think I have any SSDs laying around right now. But he's talking about like where the actual chipsets are. But yeah, this side I wouldn't worry about too much. So the bottom sticker, let me see. Hard to see it. Only the foil and the thermal putty on the... Oh, no. Not that. Yeah. We're talking about the... I'll switch over and I'll show you exactly what I mean. It's something more like... it's more like the laminate that's actually on the actual motherboard. And once you sit the SSD, you'll see like the gray, almost like the gray thermal paste. Well, thermal paste, but thermal pad. And you'll take that laminate off of it so that way you can put the SSD on. And that's something you don't want to forget to take off. It's the same on the heatsink side, where you can take off the laminate off of that, which also will have the thermal pad on there as well, and which is going to also look like a gray pad. Whereas some motherboards, they might be different colored depending on what it is. It might be gray, it might be like more of a darkish, like a charcoal color. And I know some of them are just like kind of like white. So yeah, check for that. So let's go back here. Opinion on frame generation. As for the 50 series, crazy boost on the FPS, but is it really good for multiplayer shoot? Okay, so frame generation. That's actually an excellent question, Matic. Because of frame generation, it's a great tool to have. I just wouldn't recommend it to use it on something like first-person shooters. Sure, it can give you the illusion that it's giving you more frames, practically. It really is kind of an illusion, more or so, because it's kind of generating those frames. But if you have it off, you will have a much more better competitive edge, and the GPU and every other component in the PC will actually perform better because of it. What's more important, if you want to improve on something like FPS, is you want to have a high refresh rate monitor. It sounds like you have a decent rig. It sounds like you have a 285K. More than likely, you probably have an NVIDIA GPU. And if you really want to be able to have the best latency when it comes to gaming, you want to have a very low latency monitor to it. There will be more products coming onto the channel soon. There's going to be a build coming up, which is going to be Project Ninja. And there's also going to be some monitors I'm expecting to also come in. And when they do, I will certainly go over them. But most importantly, when you do purchase a monitor, you want to get something that's under 1 millisecond typically, if you're very competitive. If you're super competitive, with FPSs, if that's your main go-to, you want to have a very high refresh rate monitor. I'm not sure which, well, if you're talking frame generation on the newer games such as like Battlefield 6, or if you're playing on something like Modern Warfare or something like Black Ops, again, keep frame generation off. You just want to have the highest refresh rate monitor. Even, I would say a good realm, like if you don't want to go too competitive, which is going to be practically anything that's over 480 hertz. You want to, I'd say a decent number, which is fair, is 240 and under. But, or I should say more or so, not really under 200. I would say 144 to 240 is like the perfect amount, perfect balance that you would more than likely feel comfortable with. But the higher the number, the better the refresh rate. And also the low input lag is also important, so that way you can be the first to kind of see the action. That's more important than anything than the actual frame generation. Hopefully that helps. LG 480 Hz. Oh, so you're pretty much good then. But NVIDIA Reflex is good. I agree. If you use Reflex, that is excellent for that. But again, the frame generation, again, optional. It's something that I don't really highly recommend as much. But oh wow, you actually have a very decent That's impressive. Feel free to post it up in Discord, your build. I would love to see it, in fact. If you're curious about the Discord link, I will share it with you guys in just a moment. Let me just pull it up here. I also have a website you can go to if you want to see the other social media, and also if you're interested in any builds, or if you're also interested in how do I say, other builds, and also the Discord channel. There we go. I put Gen off, but Reflex on. It works fine with 120 Hz to 120 FPS. I stayed the whole time. The second beta was way more stable. I bet it was. I know when it comes to Reflex, what really helps it a lot is the fact that you are able to kind of be the first one to react compared to other players. You definitely have a much higher. Apologize for that. You definitely have a much higher response rate when it comes to your gaming. Just a dumb question. I just imagine. Let me switch over here. Just loading up the comments. I just imagine M.2 card. Should I same name like that on my YouTube? Just double checking the comments real quick, if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Okay. So for the most part, just to go overview real quick when it comes to also Wasabi and Simply Takuma, you both are in the FanBam Discord, and if you could easily just to make it easier, if you just want to say what's up to each other in the general side, then you'll definitely find each other's Discord that way, because I know you're both on there too. Discord link, please. I will share my build. Sure. It will. Let me just pull it up real quick. Now if you're in a hurry to get the Discord link, it is on my website, chrismizo.com. It should be, and let me see if I could just get the invite for you guys. Oh, that's right. I forgot I coded that on there. Here it is. And there. That is the Discord channel. Hopefully it's clickable. If it's not, also it's in the description box down below. I keep forgetting that for some reason. It's also on the description box down below. And as soon as you join in, I'll make sure to share it. Just feel free, if you want to share your build, just go to Silicon Gallery and go to Battle Stations. It's funny because I always thought you guys saw each other on Discord. I don't know why. I thought you guys did. I know you guys usually see each other in chat too. So just go to Silicon Gallery, post in Battle Stations or co-op, or whichever of your liking here. Oh, and also, if you do join the Discord, make sure to go over to the rules side. Make sure to accept the terms. Just hit the green check mark. It'll look something like this. Right here. It's going to be on the side tab, and that will also unlock the all the other servers. Apologies to everyone. I was misunderstood the thing about the SSD thing. In the end, I think simply Takuma meant the plastic peel off in the thermal. I mistook it for... No. It's a good thing you didn't start going at it. Like you didn't start trying to rip it apart. That would have been terrible. Oh, Apologize for that. There we go. Hit the wrong key there. But also, anyone that's just joining in, I just would... Reason why we're talking so much about SSDs is because we were talking about the Windows 11 cumulative update that just dropped just about a week ago or so. And it's going to give issues when it comes to SSDs that have fission controllers, or if they're DRAM-less models. That can delete some very important information, anything that's around over 50 gigabytes. That's what most of the claim is, between 30 to 40 as well, I'm hearing as well. I highly recommend not to update your Windows, especially if you're not sure what SSD you have. If you are sure and you know what SSD you have, I can list a few examples. I know Corsair's MP600 is a SSD that can be affected. So is Gigabyte's 10,000, the Gen 10. I mean, not Gen 10, Gen 5 10,000. Samsung won't be affected because they use their own chips as their own controllers, as we just kind of looked up. They use their own, I forgot exactly the name of theirs, but they use their owns. Also, Western Digital hasn't been affected. SanDisk Extreme M.2 has been affected. Some crucial SSDs have also been affected, and Team Group. I don't think Sabrent was on the list, but so far those have been on the list, and so has Inland, which is Micro Center's SSD. If you have any of those, and if you have updated to Windows, make sure to they do have a rollback download. So make sure to look up that specific update download file. If you don't know how to do it, I will share the video tomorrow on doing so. Also, I also have to thank Stellar Data Recovery for also help sponsoring this video, because Stellar Data Recovery is also a great tool to be able to pull up anything that you are looking for. So if you did manage to lose any type of information when it comes to your data, make sure to check out the Stellar Data Recovery. It's a great tool. If you got your drive from, say, 2020, it will be able to pull information from 2020. That's just how powerful it is. So even if you lost it on this ridiculous update Windows 11 had pushed out, Stellar Data Recovery can certainly pull it out. It doesn't only just work on SSDs, but it also works on SD cards and also works on external drives as well. So if you lost data anywhere, it can certainly pull it. It even has a deep scan where it scans every sector of your drive, and it will be able to find what you are looking for, even if you threw it out years ago. So, what's your program for this? What's your program for this weekend? So, I'm thinking. Okay, let me go back. What's your program for this weekend? Meaning, it's going to be based on the Windows 11 update. And which it's funny, I just talked about it too. Windows 11 updates, and it's going to be about Stellar Data Recovery, where you can recover any lost data. I know that's a big subject, especially it's happened to me before plenty of times. I lost video projects. I lost a whole drive, as I mentioned earlier, with Sabrent. It was completely gone. Everything was missing. And Stellar Data Recovery can certainly be able to pull information like that if you lost anything that is very important. So I highly recommend it, especially if it's a game file where for some reason the game file doesn't save into your user side. Instead, it saves into the game file, which some games do. If it does, then Stellar Data Recovery can certainly pull those saved files, which is also nice. So I really hope that YouTube does fix this issue, this whole vertical issue. It's been quite a mess. I don't think the vertical feeds are honestly working right now with this new program, and it's something I gotta contact YouTube about and see what the hell's going on with them on that side. But if anybody has any more questions, feel free to ask, because I am willing to take the last question, because we will be ending the stream very shortly. as I will be working on the next project for you guys, as that video will be released 2 p.m. Eastern as of tomorrow. You can check out about how you can avoid Windows 11 update, how you can roll it back just in case if you already did, and especially if you lost information, you can check out Stellar Data Recovery on how to use the program as well. So feel free to ask any questions that you may, or feel free to ask in Discord. Also, I do gotta share this PC build by Medic. That's awesome. He has joined. I can't forget to show that. So far, Elden Ring has been great for the most part. I've been having a blast with Elden Ring. I still haven't. Oh, that's sick. You got the height Y70 case. That is sick. I love that look. Man, yeah, that's a great build. I gotta say, are those Lian Li fans you also have on there as well? I have to ask. Good, or is it Height's own? Because I know Lian Li and but that's quite the combination. I love that look. That is sick. Don't have a nice table out of butt. That's okay. Who needs a table when you got a PC? Take your time. The table will come in time, for sure. But yeah, that is sick. Congratulations on that build. When did you build it? Yeah, it is really sick, I gotta say. To answer Wasabi's question real quick, on the Elden Ring playthrough, I'm still stuck on the I keep forgetting the guy's name, but in that cave with the skin, what's his name? It's funny, I just had his name just a moment ago in my head too. I haven't got to play it since I really got back from my trip onto the PC, but I'm sure I'll improve because I've been trying to beat him on the ASUS ROG Ally. How I've been fighting him recently in the cave, because I got to play, I was so focused on playing Battlefield 6 last weekend on that Sunday when I had the chance. I had a lot of fun with that, I gotta say, for the most part. But when it came to Elden Ring, I'm still stuck in that cave, messing with that the skin guy. Forget his name. Yeah, the Godskin duo. Yeah, that's him. So I show my rig now. It's finished. Oh, nice. Let's see. Sorry for the ruckus about the. No, it's okay. So, Chris, what camera setup do you have for my streams? I use a A7S III for the stream. I also use the same camera when I also film. And I also use the same camera practically everything I do, from the different photos and everything for this channel at least. I have thought about switching it up. I thought about upgrading eventually, but I do want to. But I've been using this camera for a really long time. I think it's about 5 years, 4 to 5 years I've been using this camera. It's certainly a great camera. I love it. Highly recommend it. If you're interested in it, I believe it's down in the description box down below. Or another camera I also recommend if you are looking for a bit more lighter of a budget. A great one is now I think it's the A6100 is also a great choice when it comes to their cameras. I started off with originally A6400, but I think their newer one's called the 6100, and that one's a great one to start off with, and you can get a really decent lens. You want to get something that's like between 24 millimeter to 35, but that's what I use for the streams. Oh, awesome. It's funny. You just mentioned the 6100 too. It's a great camera, I gotta say. Awesome camera. It's certainly great when it comes to quality. Have you tried doing the whole color grading and everything too? Or do you set it? Oh, nice. Let's share. Takuma's Frig here. And let's go back on Discord, which looks just like this. And that's quite beautiful. I love all white builds though. They just give a completely different aesthetic to it. But man, that is sick. That's also sick. It looks really clean. I like how you have it set. And you got, wow, plenty of airflow, I gotta say. Definitely don't have to worry about any heat. I see that you also use a mix amp? I just realized that too. I use a mix amp too myself. But mine is a much older one. I've had it for years though, this one. Let's see if I can pull it up. It's kind of like wire tied into the desk, but it's like the first original one. So, FamM guys, I'd like to thank you for joining this wonderful stream. I apologize to all my vertical viewers who are waiting for this to pop up on your phone. Hopefully it did. Definitely will contact YouTube about this. It seems like it's been quite a bit of an issue. But I thank you guys so much for watching. And hopefully I can catch you guys soon. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask on Discord. I will certainly ask on there. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, if you have questions, feel free to also ask Wasabi. I'm willing to answer too. And I'll post up the Discord once again for anyone out there that is lurking and just wants to join the Discord. Feel free. It is a very open and friendly community. Feel free to state what you think. And yes, there will be PC builds coming up soon. Just being really patient on waiting for the parts for it to come in. And once they do, we'll go ahead and get started. It's going to be called Project Ninja because it's going to be just all stealth look. It's going to have a very dark stealth look. It's going to look sick. So, thank you guys again so much for joining. And make sure to check out the new content that oh, my neck. I slept on it wrong, so now I kind of have kind of tweaked it, but hopefully it gets better throughout the day. But anyway, make sure to stay tuned for the new content that gets posted up tomorrow, as it will contain about Windows 11's update, how to roll back, and also on stellar data recovery, on how you can recover your drive. And thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.